Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook, and I'm here to review the latest episode of DC's Legends of Tomorrow, which was called Bishop's Gambit. And it opens with us discovering that Bishop is a clone. He's a little bit different in that there aren't multiples of him running around at a time. There's only one at a time out in the world. And that's why Sarah was able to, quote unquote, kill him, but he's still around. He's a clone just like Ava. Although he says not like Ava at all because of the whole thing where he's the only one that's out at a time. Anyway, next we get a flash over to what Mick is doing. Mick is back. Thank goodness. I missed Mick in the last episode. And he's on the planet that Sarah is on. So they're getting close to finding her, which is cool. But then we flash over to John's house and we see that Gideon has been ported from the Wave Rider over to like a television set and somehow just hooked up to a cathode ray tube so they can use her, but she's not on the ship because the ship is not there, and I don't know what's going on, but that's happening. Ava was hooking her up, I think it was. And the rest of the legends were sort of tearing up John's house. They were messing with his stuff, like his guitar, the magic woman that came from hell, I forget her name, she was doing spells, but doing them badly, and other members of the team were doing electronics work and setting up booby traps and just generally messing with John's house, and he was not too happy about it. Back on the planet, we see Mick getting nabbed, and the Wave Rider gets stolen by someone just before the alien that Mick is working with can steal it, which is kind of weird. She's trying to steal it, but then someone else takes it, and we don't know who it is. But then they flash back to John's house, and Gideon reports that there's a sighting of an alien in 1956, and the legends go to investigate. How they got there, I don't know, because they don't have the Wave Rider. But anyway, they find out that the alien in question is Amelia Earhart, who of course is now a weird alien hybrid. Flashing back over to the planet, we see Gary. He kind of comes out of the toilet, which is weird. And he tells Sarah that he knows where the fuel cells are, and they can go to the fuel cells and they can get out of here if they can power the Wave Rider. Then we flash over to where Amelia is being sort of confronted by the team, and she spills the beans about where her ride is, but it turns out that her ride is the Wave Rider, and she's the one that stole it from the planet where Sarah is, because of course that's where she was before, which we know because Sarah and Gary ran into her. So yeah, so now the team has the Wave Rider back, and they can go get Sarah if they can get a location of where Amelia came from Amelia, which they're trying to do. The way they try to do it is to have the woman that is back from hell, whose name I forget, try to magic it out of her, like a mind scan thing. And the way they go about it is kind of weird because John isn't the one doing it, where normally he would be because he's more powerful, or so the team thinks. But of course, he's not. He's actively hiding the fact that he's lost his magic. And sure enough, it doesn't really work. And Amelia hulks out and goes on the attack. But they flash back over to the planet, and we see Gary meeting the Ava clones, which was a little weird. And they kind of have a conversation where he kind of tells them what Ava is like on Earth, and I think it's leading to something where they're going to end up revolting against Bishop when they learn that they can be more than they're allowed to be under his roof, as it were. So that was cool, a little foreshadowing there. Sarah, on the other hand, who wants to get to the power cells, is now feigning cooperation. She's pretending to have fallen in line under Bishop, just like the Avas are in line under Bishop. And she looks really great. She's wearing a dress I guess she got there, and she looks really good. Bishop, though, tells her that Mick is on the planet and that he's dead because he had to release a gas or drop the walls, I guess, that were keeping the shields, that were keeping the poisonous atmosphere out of the area. And so she kicks his ass. Mick, of course, is not dead. He found a breather, and I guess he's been sharing it with the alien so that they can get inside or something, or get across the terrain they were on. I don't know. But they're sort of surviving by doing that. And they end up hiding on an alien ship because a bunch of the aliens show up and start chasing him, and they're hiding in one of the pods, and they decide to hook up at that particular moment, which is weird, but that's what happens. But then back at the Wave Rider, the chick who can talk to aliens confronts Amelia and attacks her, and it claims that it killed Sarah before Ava kills the alien because it was going to hurt the other person. And of course, now they don't know where the planet is. But the bombshell there is that she says Sarah is dead. And it looks like she wasn't lying. They take us back to the planet, and we see that, yeah, there's a body on a slab that looks like Sarah. And Bishop tells her, oh, by the way, Sarah, you're not really Sarah, you're a clone. The real Sarah is actually dead. And they made it really look like that's what had happened, but I don't think it is. I think that what's on the slab is a clone that didn't turn out right, and that Sarah is still Sarah, but we're gonna have to see next week. Now, I didn't think much of this episode, as I say often with this show, because it's just wacky, and I kind of watch it because it's on, but I do like some of the characters. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to stick with it once Mick actually leaves the show, because he's like the coolest thing on the show. Next to Sarah, who hasn't been Sarah at all this season because she's been... So we'll have to see how the rest of the season goes. But anyway, that's it. I will be back with a review of the next episode. Until then, I say, as always, peace and long life.